Yeah, I've now sealed up the edge of the box there. This is what I'm using, Loctite. Yeah, you can use anything sealer. It's just a basic gasket sealer you can use for head gaskets and water pumps and stuff. Pretty simple stuff. Just look for the temperature rating on it. This one is 200 degrees, so I think that should be that should be enough. What do we do next? I need to put the boxes together, I think. Yeah, we've got everything together. Everything's assembled. Yeah, yes, let's assemble the top. So, the big bit, if I leave this together like that, and then literally just slot it on. Which way around does it go? The big one in there. Now then, I haven't missed anything off, have I? Bear onto there, just double checking. Okay, that looks good to me. So, slide this down very carefully. Try not to hit anything, which I am doing. What am I hitting? There she blows. A little bit tricky, but we got there in the end. So you're going to get a bit of oozing. I can't do anything about that. Just wipe off the excess. Okay, to make this easier, I'll just drop the output flange onto there to help stand it up. Two parts together. Yay. Now I need to put the case bolts together. There's 5 of these. Very easy. Stand to the camera so you can see. Case in. Always start it finger tight. Fingers first, never tools. Make sure it's tight later. Drop the camera. One in the bottom. Remove that so you can see. And the last one goes into one missing. I ended up with the other one. And the last one. I thought I'd lost it then. Just get all the socket Allen key is the best. Let's take up the slack. Go opposites. It's dirty, that's all over it. Always go opposites. Let's take up the slack. If you do all one side, you could tighten it down and it might not be aligned up properly. By doing it this way, it goes down onto the face, tightens down onto the face a little bit easier and more aligned. Good for me. Right. I just need to nip these up now. So, like that. Quick nip. Opposite. Quick nip. Opposite. Make sure there's no. You should really torque these up, but I don't know what the torque settings are, to be fair. There's very little information on these, so just don't over tighten them. They should be low torque, to be honest with you, not any stressed. Okay, I'm happy with that. Right, what's next? We haven't got too much squeezing out, so I'll just leave that. That doesn't have to look like a crack there, but it's not. What's next? I need to put the breather back on the top of here, so I shall do that later because I need to sort out the flanges, I think, next. There's debris on there. Quick turn, make sure everything turns fine. That's good. Now you can notice on the output shaft here, there is a little notch there. You see it? That notch is for the nut. The nut is called a stake nut. Now this nut goes onto there. Right? That nut holds on the dry flange. Don't lose that nut. They can't buy them anywhere for love nor money. It's an M22 by 1.0 thread. It's a flanged stake nut. Right? What does it mean, that? A flanged stake nut means, obviously, that's the flange, and that bit, that lip there, gets bent over and goes into that to stop it unwinding itself. So what we're going to do, clean my hands, there's a bit of gook on there. When I put the output flange onto there, I'm going to cover it in thread lock in all of them little teeth in there, and on the threads it's getting thread lock and plaster it, but enough, and then put the nut on, and that should hold it down. The reason being is these come loose very easily, so that's my plan. I should just pause it while I go find it. Okay, found this thread lock I use. This is it, pretty good stuff if you can find it. It's worked quite well. I don't know, it's not cheap. I think I paid about £20 for this small bottle. I mean, it's not a big bottle, but it works. I was going to glue it up now, but I think I'll leave it till later. I need to hold the other end of the output shaft to get the nut tight. You have to hold the other end, so I might make up a bar to hold that somehow. So what's next? I need to fit the breather tube in the top. The brackets on the top are loose. I'll leave them loose so I can line it up better on the car when I fit it. I need to tighten this bolt for the selector shaft. So here's my spanner. Just a quick nip, that's all it needs. That'll do for that. What's next? On the other side we have the two. Let's get a camera to see this. I'll move back a bit. On this side we have the two oil bolts. We have your drain bolt and filler bolt. Now on the Westfield ones, they are Allen key bolts, which are crap, basically. Now these bolts here that they supply have an Allen key fitting in there, which always rounds off. Every single one I've had has rounded off. One in there, one in there, one in the top, and they're rubbish. It's a M12 by 1.5 thread, and these bolts are actually 11 millimeters long. So what I had to do was buy a 1.5 inch, I think they are, bolt and cut it down to suit. Worked quite well. Couldn't find the other ones, that's why. These are the bolts I did buy, and it needs a copper washer on the top to seal it. So basically it would go like that, right? But this bolt is too long, so I had to modify it to get it to fit. Just get the camera right. What do I do? Right, I had to cut it down about 10-11 millimeters, bullet the end off, clean the threads, take that off. And then I found when I wound it in that this particular bolt didn't go all the way in, because the threads have a slight shoulder on there which hasn't been machine threaded. You can see this. Camera, I'll do this in reverse. Can you see on there? There's no thread on the end. So what I had to do was put the bolt thread in the pillar drill, and then take a file to these unthreaded parts and just file that below the height of the thread. So then that would allow me to wind it in with a wash and seal it up. Worked really well. And there we have the finished article. Remember, this is the filler bolt. When you put this on the car, you can't get in very well. So there you go. That's what it looks like when it's finished. If I just put the camera down so you can actually see the damn thing. There you go. So that's the Westfield one. The one there that's rubbish with the Allen key head. Bought one of them, M12 by 1.5. It's about an inch and a half long. Too long, because it'll catch on the teeth of the gearing inside. Cut it down to 11 millimeters, so that inside the case, when it's in, is only 10 millimeters, and then allows a bit for a washer, so it doesn't go too far in to hit anything. Right, so 11 millimeters, and it's a M12 by 1.5 copper washer, job done. So that's, you fill your oil into there till it gets to the bottom of the thread, till it oozes out a little bit, just a little bit, and stop. So I'll leave that one finger tight because I've got to put some oil in. The one below it is the drain plug, which needs a nip up. Where's my spanners? I'll just use the adjustable for now. It doesn't need to be anything special. This piece I can get in and adjust the spanner so it actually fits. That I do next. So